Welcome back, grade 7 students. All right. Today we're going to be having our MAPE class. All right. Our first lesson for MAPE is Introduction to Basketball. Okay. So, what is the history of basketball? So, basketball was invented at Springfield College by Dr. Naismith in 1891. So, that's a pretty long time ago, right? So, in the beginning, a peach basket was used as the hoop. Now, it was already asked why was basketball invented. Basically, Dr. James invented basketball because they needed a sport to play indoors. Okay, because when winter came, it was too cold to play baseball or football outside. Okay, this is why Dr. James invented basketball. So by 1932, things drastically changed when 8 national federations founded the International Basketball Federation in Switzerland. Okay? 14 years later, the National Basketball Association was formed. Then in 1917, women began their own professional league, the Women's National Basketball Association. So that's just a short history about how basketball actually started. Okay, it started from Dr. Naismith, Dr. James Naismith in 1891. So, what is basketball really about, right? So, basketball is actually a team game, right? You can either have one, two, three, four, or five players on each team. Okay, teams can be mixed with boys and girls or not. Okay, so it's definitely up to those who are playing and up to those who are supervising the game. On a competition level, a team is made up of 5 players playing on court and 5 players sitting on the bench that can be used for substitution during the whole period of the game. So we can have a maximum of 10 players when playing basketball. 5 of them will be active on the court. 5 of them will be the substitutes when the 5 players on the court gets tired. So in basketball, we have positions as well. Okay? So each player is assigned a position when playing. This position usually determined by the height of the player. But that's not the case usually anymore today. Okay? But it somehow still follows um, the statement. Okay, the tallest player on that team usually plays center, also known as position number 5. All right, so those are the big guys that you see, the tall guys uh, that plays basketball. For example, you have Shaquille O'Neal, you have um, who else? Yeah, basically Shaquille O'Neal will be the pinnacle of that. We have Yao Ming, who's a 7'6" center, all right, who played in the NBA. So the main role of the number 5 is to dominate the inside or the painted area near the rim or near the basket and to defend it as well. Okay? While the medium-sized one play the forwards. Okay? We have two kind of forwards. We have 3 and then 4. Okay? Small forward and then power forward. Power forward being bigger than the smaller forward, and the small forwards being more agile than their power forward counterparts. Then our shortest players get the guard position, which is 1 and 2. So we have the shooting guard and the point guard. The point guard usually handles the ball and makes the plays, while the shooting guard is there to support the point guard. Okay? But disclaimer, not all point guards are short. For example, we have Magic Johnson, who played in the NBA, okay, who was not even that short. He was as tall as some of the small forwards and some of the power forwards of his time back then. Okay, he is Let me just see. Yeah, he was 6'9". 6'9", almost 7 foot. Okay, and he was playing point guard. So again, it doesn't really matter what position you play, because some of the players tend to have different play styles. Okay, right. So how do you score in basketball? Right. So in basketball, it's quite easy to score as long as the ball goes inside the hoop, or as long as the ball shoots inside the rim. Right. So scoring a basket increases the team score by 3, 2, or 1 point, right? But there's also the almost impossible 4 point play that can also be done. Okay, so how are 2 point field goals made? Basically, it can be any shot that we make from um, inside the 3 point arc. Anywhere inside is 2 points. Anywhere outside the 3 point perimeter is 3 points. Okay? And then we also have the free throw, which gives us 1 point. Okay? This is an unguarded shot taken from behind the free throw line. Now, here are some common violations that we have already heard of, maybe. We have the traveling, 3-second violation, we have the double dribble violation, we have the free throw violation, and the backcourt violation. The traveling violation is you, all right, moving illegally with the ball. Okay? This means that, for example, while dribbling, or before you start dribbling, you can only take 3 steps, then you must dribble, right? If you take 4 steps without dribbling, that's already a traveling violation. 3-second violation is usually from the offensive team. Okay, so if a player from the offensive team stays underneath the basket for more than 3 seconds, then he will be called with a 3-second violation. Double dribble is basically when a player is dribbling, then holds the ball with his 2 hands, and then start dribbling again, then it will be called a double dribble violation. Okay? The free throw violation is when you are shooting the free throw, okay? Okay, when you shoot before the ball hits the rim, you already step on the line, that is a free throw violation. Backcourt violation, okay, is when a player, okay, goes over the center line or the half court, okay, they cannot go back. Because if they go back, that would mean backcourt violation for them. Okay, now here are some fouls that are also somewhat known already by most of the people that watch basketball. So what is a foul? A foul is an illegal action that can be committed by a player from one team against a player from the opposing team. Okay? So, the most common ones are blocking foul, charging foul, hacking foul, and holding foul, of course. Okay? So if you have more than 5 fouls, okay, you are automatically removed from the game. Okay? Or if you have one of the most scariest fouls of all, which is a flagrant foul, you're immediately out. Okay? A flagrant foul means you intentionally wanted to harm the opponent or the player, the other player, sorry. Okay? So here are some terms that you might have heard of before. We have air ball, jump ball, assist, defense, dunk, fast break, man-to-man, offense, turnover, and zone defense. So air ball, pretty self-explanatory. It's when you shoot the ball and it doesn't even hit the rim or the basket or the net. It just completely misses. Right? Jump ball is a term used when the game is about to start, where you see 2 players face to face, the referee tosses the ball up and they try their best to grab the ball. Okay, assist is when a certain player passes to another player and the player shoots the ball, they get an assist. Defense, okay, is when the opponent's team is trying to stop a score from happening. Dunk is when you know what a dunk is probably. So then, what is a fast break then? A fast break is basically you running as fast as you can before the defense of the other team is set up. Okay, meaning that you can just pass through them as quick as possible because they are not ready for your fast break. Okay, man to man is a defensive strategy where everyone guards an assigned player. Okay, so it's where, for example, I'm assigned to guard this other player, and I'm only allowed to handle him. I'm not allowed to change other targets. I have to follow him around. So that's man to man. Offense is team trying to score. Turnover is the loss of your ball without the shot being taken. One turnover would be when the opponent steals the ball from you. That's a turnover. Okay, so zone defense is where the coach assigns a specific zone for each player. So they don't go after the player themselves, they just have to defend their zones. So what are the skills that we see in basketball? We see box outs, we see dribblings, we see passing, shooting, and pivoting and rebounding. Okay? So boxing out is just you preventing the player to get the rebound or to get the ball when somebody shoots it, right? Dribbling, dribbling is when you push the ball down and it goes back up and you just keep doing it like that, right? You know what a dribble is, probably. Passing is when you pass the ball from, for example, I pass the ball to somebody else. That's called passing. And shooting is when you throw the ball to try and shoot it in the basket. Okay. Pivoting is basically footwork. So it's stepping once or more in any direction with the same foot while holding the other foot at its initial position. So rebounding is trying to recover a shot that bounces off the backboard or the rim. So here we have an example of our court layout, right? So here's a 3-point line. So this line that goes around over here is our 3-point line, right? So anything inside that, okay, is 2 points, and anything outside that is 3 points. Here's our free throw line. So here, in this free throw line, this is where the free throw happens, okay, behind the free throw line. Here we have the basket and the hoop. Here we have the backboard, sideline. We have the shaded area or the painted area. Here we have the baseline, and here we have the sideline. The center circle where the game will officially start, and we have the midcourt line. Right? So I hope you got some information off of this quick slideshow, but you have to watch the video that I have posted as well, which will give you a more in-depth tutorial about basketball.